Holistic Life coming to you with a message. It's funny because this whole United Healthcare thing. Now, I've been dealing with different insurance companies, okay? But I'm gonna get the details on maybe the exact timeline that I was signed up with United Healthcare. And I could tell you they were probably one of the worst ones. They were so worse that I literally had to, I think, change my HMO. I mean, I was just like, please get me out of this plan. Because they weren't covering anything. They're very difficult. Everything is like everything's referral, and then even if I would sit here for years waiting to even talk to a neurologist, and for that you had to get like this type of referral, this referral, because a neurologist is very popular. You're not gonna get an appointment within the next few years type thing because they're so booked. It's waiting list. So it was hard to find one that was local. Of course, it was hard to find one that was available. Everything was a waiting list, and there was all these issues, and they wouldn't get the referral. There was like miscommunication on the insurance and with whatever they with the providers and all that other shit. So it was just, I remember being frustrated. My experience with United Healthcare was terrible. I mean, I don't like any of them, honestly. I think they're all kind of the same, but obviously some people are happy with their insurance and some people just not. And I always looked at them like, what is your role in this equation? Why do I have to go through you? I know that in Canada it was like it's free healthcare and free education. I don't know, once upon a time, I don't know if they still do that. Certain countries, I know that was a cofactor, that education is a human right, just like healthcare is a human right. And they took out Hippocrates oath. When you got to understand the medical legalities. You have healthcare laws that protect and bind and do all sorts of things. So these people are literally pulling out Hippocrates oath, which is what doctors have to take to get their PhD, to get their doctorate, to actually practice medicine, which is practicing. It's just like testing, guinea pigging, right? To practice on someone is to experiment on somebody, right? Okay, so when these people used to have to take a Hippocrates oath was placed there to protect patient rights. It was human rights based. So when we had something like United Nations through the WHO organization, the World Health Organization, to then the Health Department, to then the Center of Disease Control, CDC, and all these entities that came about over time, and then Rockefeller Foundation, which took a very big interest in healthcare. Thank you. That's where, everything went to shit, because when you look at, if you know your history of medicine, medicine was about nutrition and plants, and it was a holistic approach. People went to healers and medicine women and men, and everything was based on nature based. Now when pharma, which means plant, pharmaceuticals started with Arabs when created alcohol, and they started creating tinctures or extracts, which they were diluting the plant product, and thus they found out it would last longer and it was more strong to administer it. And that's when they started breaking down the elements of the plant, and thus after that became chemicalized. Now during the 1900s was also the time where we had Rife machine, which was the study of electromagnetic frequencies, EMFs, on healing people through the cellular level. Mr. Professor Rife got crazy drank himself to pretty much death. He ended up in a loony bin, like they do all, right? The government took his machine and hid it. And of course, only a few people had it, as they were still promoting rife frequencies in the machine itself. And this was before pharmaceutical was booming, okay? Pharma then thus came out with Coca-Cola, which was a form of cocaine-based cough syrup. It was a medicinal, just like they were using heroin, opioid, opiates, the opium, and creating medicinal, things with that as well. So I don't know. The history of medicine is very interesting, because then you can see the loops, and when people, certain entities came in to take other, things out of the equation, whether it was restriction, rules, compromises. This is like the corruption of healthcare. And then when did insurance companies and all this extra shit play a role? Same thing with HIV and AIDS epidemic. When did that become predominant, in the industry? It became a propaganda marketable industry. The medicine alone goes for estimate $4,000 a bottle. And they're going to tell you it's not for profit, but they're sitting here fundraising so much money towards cancer research and this and that, knowing damn well that your environmental cofactors, your nutritional cofactors, everything that you're being pretty much exposed to, everything that was man-made, created to create a problem solution type predicament. They, on the other end, profit off of both angles. Rather was in the contamination of it, or as well as in the cure, right? Or in this case, we don't want to cure you, because then you wouldn't be a consumer or a customer. And in order to be plugged in with sick care, healthcare, we got to keep you well enough but sick enough to where you keep coming back, where you get new side effects. Okay? And we just treat the symptom of the side effect. We don't go to the root of the problem. We don't cure you based on the root of the problem. See, I've been dealing with the medical system all my life. I never fuck with them since I think the first time I had to get stitches in my head. I didn't trust these motherfuckers. I know they had to literally put me out and strap me up into this wraparound thing to restrain me, because since I was a child, I had an ill feeling about the medical industry. And it's always been a healthy fear. My grandfather would have rather to die from cancer, which he did, than actually go get help from the medical system. He accepted his fate. And a lot of people in my family were kind of like stubborn. They were holistic. They were people of the earth. They relied on, old remedies and recipes. And, that type. It's like, whatever, to each his own. But I feel like I took on a lot of these things, and I lost my health at the age of like 15 from eating contaminated meat, parasitical contaminated meat. I started understanding the science behind parasites being carriers of most of your germs, zoology, whether it's bacteria, fungus, or virus. The virus is stubborn because it breaks in the actual brain of your DNA, and it reproduces abnormally. So your body starts to regenerate, producing, the abnormal cells. So it is something more stubborn. And as I'm noticing with the new strands they're coming out with, they are a lot more stubborn or resilient to a lot of the, remedies. It is also nanotechnology, so we're dealing with shit that is half technological, half chemical, half industrial, half laboratory made. So it's like diseases being souped up on steroids type shit. Um, the biggest scam of the century. Agenda 21 was that in 2021 with 1010 they was gonna implement, a series of different experiments on humanity. Okay, and this has been going on since Project Paperclip, since Nazi, since the man of Germ, right? The German man of Germ, Nazi camp. This is everything that we've taken on. When you look at Project Paperclip, I know people like, oh, no, everything is correlated, intercalated. When Rockefeller Foundation started investing money into medical field and changing and restricting and adding and abolishing, literally changing the whole construct, like things like the Medici, they went completely off the direction of where Hippocrates, who was a wanderer, who was like Nostradamus, they knew about the herbs and the plants, they were educated. A lot of the saints utilized herbs and, made their own, like monks made remedies and shit, even the Tibetan monks. So it's cultural through all different types of culture, where we've relied on nature as a medicinal source. Rather, it's through African traditional medicine to then, being it passed down to other cultures. But this is a denial that, of course, they've tried to demonize. The level of diseases were different. And as it is proven, historically proven, that a lot of these also plagues were black magic derivative. Like, they were caused through witchcraft as well as through cleanliness. Because, a lot of those diseases in the Middle Ages, when it was like predominant plagues and stuff, it was caused because of cleanliness, because of the pollution and the dirt and the level of hygiene. So that played a role. But also, like, the comedian says that you could put yourself in a shitty ass river. It's like your immune system is designed to fight these things. Okay? And like Yahusha said, we have the power to transmute things. That's why you bless your food. Okay, it's poison, bless it, make it into medicine, transmute it. And then when you look at a lot of the plants, some of these plants are poisonous, but they act as a medicinal value. So just like the poison with these pharmas, these people, it took them $1.50 to raise the fucking pill, right, to produce it, just for them to charge you $5,000, $10,000 for a bottle of medication. It's like holding people's suffering hostage. I understand the shooter. He suffered. He had issues, screws in his back. Because of malpractice, because of the medical system, it has caused me to be disabled. When I've tried to get a lawyer, nobody will really help me. Nobody wants to take on the cases, especially which one. How many cases, right? Because it's all about the time frame. And you gotta jump on things quick, or else, the time span. But what I realize is that it's very easy for people to be frustrated and be in a position where they're miserable. The quality of their life has been affected. I can't even have a normal life anymore. And you tell me go back to the doctor, and I'm not saying scared to go. I don't trust them enough to go, for them to keep torturing me and using me as some guinea pig experiment. At some point, honey, a lot of the issues that I have is primarily It could have started with something minor, and then it got worse with additional issues. And I was treated as some laboratory rat experiment. And I tell them all the time, you treat people like cattle. You don't, it's like human rights went out the motherfucking door. And when you're dealing with healthcare, you have to deal with customer service. You have to deal with compassion and courtesy. And you know what I'm saying? The quality of your service determines everything. The quality of care. Especially, do you give a shit? And that was Hippocrates' oath, was to protect, patients' rights. It was the ethical integrity part of what the medical system is supposed to provide. That they don't deny people based on funds. They work on a scale system, and at the same time, you don't deny people care or help or information because they can't afford it. You don't hold people suffering. It was illegal to provide. It was illegal to do surgery. It was illegal to even for vaccines. It said it, foreign materials to enter the bloodstream, and it was illegal to deal with reproductive organ health. Where people were castrated or doing, okay, or even with women cutting their privates and stuff. So we're not gonna get into how pervasive, invasive the medical system was, on a torture level, and to not even get the solution. They say, well, the healing is like the placebo effect. It's the belief. You believed in the healing, and thus you help to manifest that. But at the same time, you're believing the cure. You believe that this person is helping you. I'm not telling you that God don't work through doctors. I'm not telling you there's not doctors out here that really give a shit about people, that really care about their job. But what percentage is that versus all the individuals who compromise themselves, including nurses, who just go into this as a job, as a dollar. And even then, they feel like it's not even worth it. Because the level of compassion you have to have for a sick person, it's tremendous. It drains you. So you can't be, Ten of Swords. You don't gain nothing out of this. Doctor, lawyer, insurance company, hospitals. They keep growing. They keep getting bigger. They keep getting bigger machines. Right? They grow. They grow as an establishment, but the level of care or service turns into shit. These people don't have no level of love. It's all technological based. And these are people who also wanted to integrate artificial intelligence with medicine, nuclear medicine. Let's get into the stigma of what nuclear medicine is all about. Them using the same approach for every issue, when it is part of their job to educate you on lifestyle change and on the nutritional factors. The fact that they can sit here and weaponize food against you, create bugs in the laboratory, and then sit here and contaminate meat with it, and then have you sick, or sit here and vaccinate you with a bunch of diseases, and then all of a sudden you wake up with different illnesses. Where did they come from? Because if you pay attention, what is a vaccine? Why are they so against us talking about these things? Because they know it's true? Why do they only pertain one opinion when it comes to these discussions talking about medical misinformation? It's all bullshit. When me and you both know, when they create a vaccine, it is the antidote, which is the dormant strand. They are injecting you with the same disease, except it's dormant. It's like trying to stimulate the immune system to react, to do its job. Or in this case, you become immune to the disease to where, you either get stronger because of it or whatever. it creates a fighting response in the body. But I don't believe that that's demonic way of creating shit. Medicine was given to you by the angels, so diseases would be given to you by the devil. It's like you should be able to your immune, your cellular structure should be able to supersede all these dilemmas. I mean, we're not denying the physical realm. It's mind over matter, though. And at the end of the day, it's what you believe. And that's a lot of the warfare is in the mind. So if people believe they're going to die, that's like a fear, right? That the devil holds you in a certain captivity through these things. The fact that these people use the medical industry as a gain, rather they cure you or not, rather you get your needs met or not, why don't we just end suffering? Why don't we end what causes suffering? Because they gain off of it. Hello? That's why they need the problem. They need the problem. They can sit here and talk about, there's a solution for every fuck problem. That's why there's no reason for none of it. And that's why in the beginning there was none of it. And the fact that you continue to hold on to these illusions, to this information, to all these vices that at the end of the day is really, we here to go beyond that. You gonna come to a conclusion. But this is people who already have information on how to heal themselves. They shouldn't be charging people like the medical system. Especially if you know a person's sick and they can't afford that. If that was the case, everybody would have jumped on it. But y'all sitting here trying to sell people these solutions for an arm and a leg, knowing damn fuck well people already struggling. And they sick. They barely got it, bro. So, you're not supposed to deny people, health. Especially when you already know the solution. Especially when y'all sitting here actually creating the problem. So, hey, healthcare is based on sick care and on keeping that shit alive. So we only suppress the symptom. We don't go to the root of the problem. We don't want you cured. We want you a consumer. We want you a customer. Because once you come into our establishment, honey, you stuck. It's a job. And God forbid you become disabled because of these people. They won't even motherfucking give you disability. But all the people out here faking disability, getting a check, and they're not even disabled, right? You giving other people a bad fucking name. And see, it's not that I'm denying my disability. It's the fact that I'm not going to allow it to define me. And that's that. Because I know that's not who the fuck I was. That's not what was going on. And as a result of these people, I want justice for what they've done. Everybody should pay for what they've created, what they've done. And no, these establishments have been getting away with murder legally because they feel like they're protected by, the Supreme Court. But even someone like Dr. Sebi, who was able to prove the fallacies, the lies of science and the medical system, that he ended up dead with pneumonia in his cell after he won the Supreme Court and proved his case. But once again, these are people that will FDA approve Golden Seal and make it illegal, and FBI will lock up a herbalist, right, for healing people's cancer. But yet these people making a massive production and profit off of slaughtering people for legal business, literally. You legally slaughtering, legal genocide with the illusion of helping them, giving them false hope. And then you wonder why someone like Luigi Mangione, who is fucking, was in pain just like me and the rest of us, experienced frustration from a system who is obviously getting paid every time you go to the doctor. And then you get to see that doctor for 2 minutes with nothing. No relief. And if it ain't based on God's will, God is the healer. And God gave us what we needed to heal ourselves. He gave us the knowledge upon these things. My battle with trying to change healthcare has been never ending all my life, boo. And yeah, I'm taking a break. I don't have to explain to motherfuckers what it is I'm doing with my life. It's not their business. Because they didn't give a fuck. Okay, when they could have sat here and been a part of it. Especially if they're also being affected by the medical industry. So how many people, if we were to really recruit all the people who have experienced some level of trouble from these entities who are now corporations, who are just to profit and gain, and they don't know anything about the actual industry itself. Yeah, these people need to know this is not a joke. This is not a game. Stop playing with people's lives. That there's consequences for that shit, dog. And no, I don't feel sorry for none of these motherfuckers, because I already know how they get down, and I know what they're about, and I know their whole purpose in life, and these people are criminals. Why? Because if you already know what it is you're doing, and you still continue to do it for profit, bitch, then you telling me what side of the scale you on. You a snake. And you work for that snake-ass organization. When the goal is to free people from suffering. Especially when you have the information or the ability, or you understand the risk, the cause, the causation. When we're dealing with integrative medicine, that's like going to the root of the problem and getting with preventative medicine, which means we deal with prevention. We're not trying to even go there. It's like saying, oh no, we're going to not deal with, abortion cofactors because of grape cofactors. No, we shouldn't even have grape. Why are we talking as if grape is acceptable? You see the problem here? Oh, the Shriners, they want to, give us money. When they have all the money, they own the money. What are you talking about? Oh, we need cancer research for kids. After you sit here putting cancer in people's products. The fuck you mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Stop it. And then you giving them a choice like, well, this shit is gonna kill you. But hey, you have a choice after you got these people addicted. Then you gonna tell them, oh, don't smoke, it causes cancer? I mean, by then, who cares, right? It's too late. You already got people influenced, suckered in. You already led them astray to the oven. That's why I said, what are we talking about? That's why, you go to the doctor. I mean, I gotta be really I'll sit here and I will regurgitate blood and out of every hole, and I'll still stay home. I'll sit here and puke clots, and I still stay home, dog. I had miscarriage and I stayed home. I bled for I was anemic. I lost so much blood and I literally stayed home the whole time. I even failed my classes. I'm just telling you, before I sit there and take my ass to a doctor, I already know why I'm even going and what it's all about. Because I don't see the point. A lot of them that are being covered by most of your Medicaid system are quacks. They're Nazi scientists, guinea pigs. They work for the government. They're not, you know what I'm saying? And even if you were to pay expensive, like my grandparents go to Mayo Clinic, it didn't fucking matter. They took my grandmother's, they took her organ without her permission, dog. Talking about she won't need it. Oh, let's take her uterus. She ain't gonna need it. Just like when USC tried to take my uterus. Talking about they took my uterus out and put it back in. I mean, are you sure? Things have not been normal since. And I'm scared to go find out what these people did to me. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not able to walk anymore. I've been debilitated. And no, I never had these problems before. So between chiropractors messing up my back, talking about you ain't going to be walking, putting nothing but black magic hexes and curses and wishes upon your life. That's why I tell you, boo, be careful what you believe, honey. You're going to manifest it. And the medical system is a form of witchcraft because it can give you a probability of something, right? But it does not have the power to acknowledge what is your outcome. The fact that it can sit here and speak over your life and your existence and you fucking believe them. You're giving these people power to curse your life. And I'm not telling people, oh, don't go to, you know, sure, it saves people's lives too. So, you know, thanks be to God. But how many people can I say is highly disappointed with the system right now, dog? Let's make a survey right fucking now. Let's make a survey and see how many people are pleased by their providers and by the services they're receiving or rendering. These people begging me to come back to the office.